Hey, welcome to the Cider Saturday with me, Chad of Chad's Beer Reviews. So I had to get a whole bunch of ciders because I ran out. So got this at Total Wine the other day. I've seen this brand many times, just never bought it before. Excelsior Imperial Apple 8.4 ABV from Schilling Cider with a giraffe. It's got kind of a long description on the back, but I do like how they have these little bar cards to tell you like how sweet, how acidic, and how bubbly it is. And it looks like this is good until the end of July, so it's probably about a year out, probably old, but it's 8.4, it should last. Anyway, pour it into the fancy glass, it's the Imperial beer. And it's actually very dark for a cider, which is funny because like apple juice is usually like this color, but when you make hard cider, it tends to lighten up. I don't know why, but anyway, it's lightly hazy, and actually get a little bit of foam on there, like you would with a beer. You don't usually tend to get a foam that lasts on cider. Yeah, this kind of smells like if you go to like an apple farm and pick your own apples, like the actual like not like that really spicy cider. I think if I like for 8.4, I'm not picking up on alcohol. I can smell like the acidity to it. It smells like it's gonna be kind of on the sour tart side, like I can smell it. All right, let's give this thing a whirl. Cheers. All right, well, that was a lot different than what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be, like on the dry tart side, and this is actually, I don't know if I've ever had a cider like this before where it's very sweet, but at the same time pretty acidic. Usually it's like, dry beers with high acidity, not the other way around. It's got like actual, like I said, like the, roadside cider kind of flavor to it. Probably a little bit of like, almost like cinnamon in there, or nutmeg, something like that. Yeah, so it's sweet. Tastes like real apple cider. I'm getting like an acidity underneath it, which kind of balances that out. Because you have the sweetness from the cider, but at the same time, like a high acidity kind of offering a counterbalance there. Finish is kind of tart at first, but then does have kind of a sweet pie kind of aftertaste. This is not cloying sweet, by the way. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely more sweet than dry, and not nearly as dry as I thought it was going to be. But like like the nice kind of acidity offers balance. I said that already. And also the 8.4 on there, I think is adding a little bit of warmth, the alcohol and the acidity. So kind of it's almost like a peppery sensation, but without the pepper taste. It's really easy to drink. Mouthfeel is actually kind of on the bigger side. Ciders don't tend to be, full bodied, even if they're like really strong. I might put this at medium full, maybe straight up full. Carbonation, kind of on the lower end. Yeah, definitely on the lower end. Probably like a medium light to light carbonation. Really smooth. It's leaving lacing on the glass. I don't think I've ever seen that on a cider before, because it looks like I'm drinking a beer, but I'm not. Yeah, I really like this one. I would call this fascinating. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna give my full 10 out of 10 to the Excelsior Imperial Apple from Schilling Cider House. Definitely one of the best tasting and most interesting ciders I've ever had. So I'm to get more from these guys. All right, so I'm rambling. If you watch all the way in, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you for good old Chad's Beer Reviews. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it, Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews.
Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.